Having fun? That's about to change, and I apologize.
Nice podium.
Thank you. There comes a time in everyone's life when they meet their one true love, their soulmate. That person that's going to care for them for the rest of their life. That moment came for Jeff 25 years ago when he met me, best friend Lou. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is David, and I want to thank Luz, Jeff, and their families for hosting this beautiful weekend. It's been spectacular, and we've been thrilled for the opportunity to celebrate with all of you. Luz, you look stunning up there tonight. Jeff, you look stunned. Luz, God bless you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Since you came into Jeff's life, and by extension all of ours, it's been amazing getting to know you. You've been so kind to me, Erica, and our children, whether letting Benny come over and play video games with Jeff, or watch Gator games with Jeff, or getting Emma the gummy bear earrings when we all vacation in Hutchinson Island together. You have always treated us as family. Speaking of Hutchinson, Bob, you okay? Someone give me a wellness check on Bob. I wish I could say that when you entered Jeff's life, it changed him for the better. But I can't stand up here and lie to all of you. No one can change Jeff, as I'm sure you've realized by now. But in all the years I've known Jeff, I've never seen him happier than he is now with you. Jeff, you're a lucky man. Luz is a smart, beautiful, and caring woman, and she deserves a good husband. Thank goodness you married her before she found one. Jeff has always been a great uncle to my two kids, Emma and Benny. Just as he's a great uncle to all the buddies' kids, and of course his own nieces and nephew. He's always willing to bring Benny to a Dolphin game, or go to a Marlins game with us. Emma, not realizing how truly clairvoyant she was at the time when she was little, affectionately used to call Jeff Uncle Poopos. Now, if you've ever spent a minute with Jeff, you realize how appropriate that name is. However, it's far better than the nickname that he coined for himself, Uncle Tickle Monster. That caused many of the buddies and their wives grave concern. Speaking of kids, Elaine and Ethan, thank you for welcoming our friend Jeff into your family and for turning a blind eye to the obvious red flags. I can't imagine what your initial impressions were of Jeff, although we're all dying to know. But I do know that he's truly enjoying getting to know the both of you and is thrilled to be a part of your lives. Everyone in life needs a role model to look up to, and I'm personally grateful that both of you can be that role model for Jeff. Let me tell you, trying to make a speech for an Indian Columbia wedding is no easy feat. I mean, trying to come up with jokes that are culturally sensitive and funny is as difficult as finding an outfit for a white party. I gotta be honest, I had a really tough time thinking of good stories to share with you with all of you tonight. Not that there aren't a million stories of our good friend Campos, but rather most of them are not appropriate for this occasion. But before I start in Jeff, many of our friends are here from the University of Florida, and many more at home wishing they could be here. Friends for so long, many nights out, too many games and events attended together to mention them all. Memories from a lifetime that will last a lifetime. Friends that ultimately became family and are now simply called the buddies. As I mentioned before, my name is David, and I know that comes as a great shock to many of you. But most of my friends, closest friends, do call me Lou. All those nicknames have caused mass confusion no matter where we go and who meets us. Buddies, you each deserve to be recognized tonight for putting up with Jeff for this long. And I intend to honor you for your service. Please stand and be recognized. First we have Rob. Come on, Rob, stand up, please. Rob, that goes by Bob. He had to be included in this speech or I would have never heard the end of it. Bob is definitely not panicked about coming to Columbia. Bob's Google search history definitely does not contain the following searches. How many Americans go missing every year in Columbia? What's the average ransom amount for a hostage? Is my hotel in the walled city? Bob has been telling Jeff to argue less and agree more. Marriage is a relationship in which one person is always right and the other is the husband. Good luck with that one, Jeff. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Next, one of Campos' oldest and luckiest friends, Cappy.
Yay!
He doesn't say much. Really never sure if he's there or not. Campos is fortunate Cappy still remembers him, or any of us, to be honest. Cappy is also the longest married buddy. Sage advice for a married couple is to always let your wife have the last word. Cappy simply lets Jen have all the words. Now, LA. Let me next introduce you to a buddy that is part French, part British, part African American, and all parts QAnon. He's taught all of us that the facts are really important. Take a stand and never back down, even if you're arguing with someone's grandma on Facebook. LA is an idea man and typically has a way to solve any problem. Never short on schemes, he's a crucial buddy to have by Campos' side, since Camp always seems to find himself in a jam. Like losing your cell phone the week he invited 130 of his closest family and friends to a foreign country for his wedding. Thanks, Al. Our next buddy, sometimes known as a green and other times known as a joke, depending on the audience. Thankfully, he still has his clothes on. You can usually tell Weed's level of intoxication based on the number of buttons open on his shirt. Camp keeps him around to make himself look clean and sober. Weed will always be there to encourage and support Campos, albeit sometimes for his own selfish entertainment. Thanks, Weed. Then there's Campos' oldest and dearest friend, a guinea, also known as a baby. Great hair, passionate lover, and a doting cat dad. When I first met the guinea in Campos, it was like seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I texted him for some advice, but he only just got the message on his droid a few minutes ago. When he's not cleaning the cat litter or figuring out how to work his TiVo, he's right by Camp's side. And please stay up by tonight, bud. Not sure I can handle another scare. And finally, one last bit of wisdom from one of the newest buddies, Doug. He asked me to share this with you, Campos. If you think the buddies sound like a motley crew, you should hear the stories about Campos' high school friends. Just Google Florida Man if you want to get an idea. Whether it was menacing the kids of Ramblewood Middle or their teachers, or terrorizing the students of Terravella, this bad news crew was lucky cell phones with cameras didn't exist back then. Doorbell ditching, mailbox baseball, cheating the local Baskin Robbins, just a few of their favorite pastimes. The city of Coral Springs has never been the same. As most of you probably know, Campos has a real knack for giving speeches. At my wedding, he stood up in front of everyone and eviscerated me for 20 straight minutes, to everyone's delight. The buddies have said it many times. Campos missed his calling as a public speaker or even a comedian. I often wonder to myself, what could have become of Campos if he was just a little bit more ambitious and motivated? But then I realized he'd just be Jeremy. Speaking of Jeremy, one of the first things I asked Campos was who else was speaking tonight? Now, I'm a very competitive person, and of course I needed to know my competition. Campos told me it would just be me and Jeremy, which immediately relaxed me after seeing how little Jeremy did to plan Campos' bachelor party. Jeremy is a great older brother to both Jeff and Janine. That is, when he's not working to constantly troll them, and if they can ever get him out of his cell phone to pay attention. The second thing I asked Campos is if there was anything that was off limits. His response, use your judgment, I trust you. Well, Camp, that was a staggeringly dumb decision. Almost all of you are here tonight, except for Luz's family, who I apologize to in advance, will not be surprised about what I'm about to say. You've likely witnessed some of this yourself, and you've no doubt heard the stories. For Campos, however, he's been incapacitated or asleep for so much of our time together, this might be a little surprising for him. Now, there's been hundreds of times we thought we lost Campos, but most of the times we were simply at a Gator football game or a basketball game. Who can forget the time he was passed out during the Florida-Miami game, only to be found in seats many sections away? Or the time at the Florida-South Carolina game where he just disappeared. Doesn't include about a half dozen Florida-Tennessee games. 1 minute he's with you, and 1 minute he's with you, and the next minute he vanishes like Kaiser Sose. Of course, there's the Gator-Alabama game that he never even saw. Like good buddies, Cappy and I strategized in the days leading up to the game. Cappy would pick up bagels first thing in the morning. We'd make sure Campos was fed. We would make sure Campos had plenty of water, and then we would make sure he had to get at the tailgate. Everything was going exactly to plan. Campos dined on bagels, a hot dog, maybe even a hamburger, snacks, and water. Cappy and I thought we had done it. Then it was time to walk to the stadium. And our plan fell apart quicker than the British Raj in India. As Cappy said that day, there's only so much you can do. Inevitably, there was nothing anyone could do. And once again, Campos vanished. But it's not all that bad. There were times, many times in fact, Campos threw food at us at a restaurant, or wrappers from Shaw's, or tossed dessert at innocent bystanders at a wedding. Once, he vomited on Cappy and a stranger sitting in front of him at Dave Chappelle's show. That night, Janine took one look at the buddies, and it was clear that was not going to be her problem. Credit to Wheat for finally stepping up, and thank you again to Joyce for the great seats. There was the time on the way back from Vegas, there was a lot of puke on the plane, and Guinea was there. And of course, at my 40th birthday party, Susie at least had the good sense to leave early that night, but Camp did not. Clearly, I did not get my security deposit back. Camp, I'm not sure if this was what you meant when you said use your judgment. God bless you, Luz. God bless you for real. You have a lifetime of stories to look forward to. And a hearty congratulations to Joyce, Felix, Jeremy, and Janine for finally marrying Campos off. I'm sure there were many nights where you all wondered if this day would ever come. And I know the buddies did too. Luz, while the buddies will always be there for you and Campos, he is now officially your problem. Now, in case it's not obvious, and after that last little bit of my speech, perhaps it's not, but I've never met anyone that didn't love Campos. Whether it's my own high school friends, friends from college, or our friends from law school, friends we made as adults, any of the buddies here tonight would tell you he's a good friend. The kind of person you could always have a good time with. As long as you let him control the music, decide what we're watching on TV, be prepared to answer as many trivia questions about 80s music, and know where any random athlete played who went to college, or be willing to suffer the shame bell. As I mercifully bring this speech to an end, I feel compelled to tell all of you, in typical Campos fashion, he only, much like Felix, asked me to make this speech a few days ago. Had this been closer to when the rest of the buddies were married, it would have been less of a problem. All the way back then, I would have regaled all of you with a list of stories about Campos, but unfortunately most of that material is now stale. However, since it's now 2023, I did get the chance to take advantage of our current technology, and I asked ChatGPT to help me prepare for this evening. So to conclude, please allow me to share a portion of that speech from our future robot overlords. And please, this was ChatGPT. Now Campos, my dear friend, I have to say, I never thought I'd see the day when you would settle down. I mean, you were the king of the bachelor life. But when you met Luz, everything changed. And let's be honest, who can resist a beautiful Colombian woman? I remember the first time you told me about Luz. You were head over heels in love. And you couldn't stop talking about her. I mean, it was almost like you were possessed by the spirit of Bollywood romance. And Luz, I can see why he fell for you. You're beautiful, you're intelligent, and you make me one mean cup of coffee. You know what they say, behind every successful man is a strong, independent Colombian woman. Now I have to admit, when I first heard that Campos was marrying a Colombian woman, I had my doubts. I mean, how would a man who grew up on a steady diet of samosas and butter chicken adjust to the cuisine of a country known for the delicious coffee and empanadas? But Campos has surprised us all. He's embraced the Colombian cuisine with open arms. I mean, I've never seen a man eat so many empanadas in one sitting. But in all seriousness, Campos and Luz, you two are perfect for each other. You complement each other in every way, and it's clear to see you are deeply in love. We are all very lucky to have friends that we can genuinely say have been some of our closest friends our entire lives. Each buddy here tonight and all of the buddies who couldn't make it are all family, and we're so happy that the last of the buddies finally found his own person to love and grow up with. Everyone, let's raise our glass to the newlyweds, Campos and Luz. Wishing you all the love, luck, and happiness you deserve. May the best day of your past and the worst day of your future. Congratulations.
Damn, we all got roasted.